Hey guys, Crafter for BFNations here, and today we're gonna take a look at the planes in Battlefield 5. How do those compare to the planes from the previous games? Battlefield 1 or maybe even Battlefield 4? Let's find out. When it comes to the types of planes that are available and how those are divided into separate sections, it is pretty much the same exact thing as in Battlefield 1. We have fighter planes, we have attack planes, and we have bombers. You can see me using the bomber in the gameplay in the background. The pilot class, which was introduced to us in Battlefield 1, was also carried over to Battlefield 5. However, this time it is not called a pilot but a paratrooper, which at the end is pretty much the same thing. You still spawn as a separate class when you get into the vehicles. If you spawn into tank, you get a tanker class. If you spawn into the plane, you get a paratrooper class. Now the interesting part about planes in Battlefield 5 is that those, along with other vehicles, have a limited amount of ammunition. Which means that, yes, you can run out of ammo and you won't be able to shoot, drop bombs or drop grenades. You will not be able to do anything. So once you do run out of all of the things that you have available to use in your plane, or you see that you are close to running out of those, you have to head back to your base, fly through the circle in the sky, and then you will actually fully resupply. For tanks and ground vehicles it's a bit different because you have the physical resupply station, but since I guess those weren't floating in the air yet in World War I, you just have to fly through the circle in the sky. It's really not that big of a deal, considering that the circle is quite big and it's not really a problem to resupply in the air. Now you might be wondering, what about the auto repair? Is it back in the game or was it scrapped completely? Well, actually you might have already seen it in the gameplay that yes, it is still in the game, but it works a bit differently now. Because once you get down to the certain amount of HP, you won't be able to fully repair yourself with the auto repair. Instead, what you will have to do is actually fly back to your base again and fly through the magic circle in the air. You will restore both your ammunition supply and your HP. As for how planes operate in Battlefield 5 and how those compare to the planes we had in Battlefield 1, for example, I have to admit, subjective opinion, but it is a lot harder to use planes in Battlefield 5 than it used to be in Battlefield 1 and even Battlefield 4, which didn't really have as easy planes as Battlefield 1 did. Probably the biggest factor that changed the effectiveness of the planes in Battlefield 5 wasn't even a direct nerf to the planes themselves. As you guys may or may not know, Battlefield 5 got rid of the standard spotting mechanic, which means that you can no longer spam one button and get all of the enemies highlighted on the map with red Doritos above their heads. It does no longer work this way. And because of that, flying planes, especially high in the air, is a bit harder if you want to pick ground targets. Because realistically, if you're like a kilometer above the ground, all of the enemies running there as an infantry, they just look like ants. It's just hard to even find them. At the same time, they are a lot slower than the planes from previous games, which means that you're losing a lot of maneuverability in the air. Now, does all of this mean that planes are bad and they are too weak to even be used effectively? Definitely no. Planes are just weaker, but you can still effectively play with those. You have to put a little bit of an effort, you have to play a bit more to master them, but you can still definitely score a lot of kills with them. And that would be it for this quick rundown of planes in Battlefield 5, guys. As always, if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe to BFNations, and I see you on the battlefield.